I don't know what's hiding in this hay bale, but I think we got to check it out. What's over here hiding in this hay bale? Let me get a... All right, guys, another great day in Arkansas. Wearing my Razorback hat to celebrate Ramadan. Today's the first day of Ramadan. But more importantly, 5 years ago today, we lost one of the greatest voices in America. We lost Rush Limbaugh. That is something that we have to talk about. And I'm here on the farm, and you can see some critters over here, the geese, they're getting watered, and all this other kind of stuff. And we got all the chickens and the geese and the ducks, and everybody's wanting a handout. And it's almost, including that guy. They all want a handout. They all want a treat. They all want a free meal. Now, these guys provide something for their meals. We get about, I don't know, we get eggs, right? We get eggs. And the Great Pyrenees protect them. So what exactly is the Democrat Party providing? What exactly is the socialist soothsayer Zohran Mamdani providing? I saw something on the news today that would have probably made Rush Limbaugh roll over in his grave. Zohran Mamdani is wanting to raise property taxes in New York City 9.5%. He wants the state of New York to raise taxes 2% on people just to support the city of New York City. Now, I can't understand this, but there's a lot of people that can. So Zohran Mamdani, this socialist, I don't know, man, he's like the Manchurian candidate. And I believe he very well could become the Manchurian candidate if the Democrat Party wins the midterms. If they win the midterms, they've already said they're going to nuke the filibuster. They're going to pack the Supreme Court, and they'll probably amend the Constitution of the United States so that someone like Zohran Mamdani doesn't need to be born in America to be president of the United States. I think that's the ultimate goal. I believe we were clued in to the plan with Obama. And now I think the Democrats have just gotten a little more aggressive, a little more bold, a little more in your face. They tell you exactly what they're going to do. And sadly, some people don't listen. Sadly, some people do not listen. I don't know what's hiding in this hay bale, but I think we got to check it out. What's over here hiding in this hay bale? Let me get a stick. Kind of a rotten stick, but we'll see anyway. Oh, nothing. Okay, cool. That's good. But the Democrat Party always tells you what they're going to do. Sadly, we never listen. Well, some people don't. Some people never pay attention to what they say. But they always give their plan away. They say they're going to nuke the filibuster, they will nuke the filibuster. They say they're going to defund ICE, they defund DHS. They shut down the government. They say they're going to impeach Trump. They impeached him 2 times. They weren't successful. But right now, what's happening in America is nothing more than distraction after distraction. There's another guy over on YouTube. He interviewed Hunter Biden for 5 hours. He interviewed Gavin Newsom. He's interviewed Ro Khanna 2 times. He's about to interview Marjorie Taylor Greene. Do you know what all those people have in common? Raging leftist. And they hate America. And they hate anyone outside of themselves being successful in America. Marjorie Taylor Greene loved America so much that she left office, took a retirement for the rest of her life, a pension, and now goes on various platforms just taking a dump on Donald Trump and MAGA. All they're trying to do is distract you from the, what I would say, successes that the MAGA movement is having right now. And we've got a lot of success going on. But if you get distracted by a lot of stuff, some of you are all tied up with this Jepstein stuff, with the Jethro Stein list. The only thing I've really seen come out so far is Democrats. All these pictures of Bill, you know, with his non-profit work in the hot tub with the so-called victims. I'm starting to even question everything about that, whether these ladies were victims, because the ones that made the Super Bowl commercial were all over the age of 18. Now they're in their 40s, some are in their 50s. Magically, none of them said any names. It's a weird take, isn't it? If you're such a victim, drop some names. Or are you afraid about paying back the cash that you took to keep quiet? It's called hush money, right? Hush money. It's a very familiar term with the Democrat Party. They've used that for a long time. What do you think is going on with New York City? I believe New York City is a test case. It is a petri dish for what the Democrat Party really wants to accomplish. And what they really want to accomplish is socialism nationwide. You hear those ducks over there? You do, don't you? See them over there? There you go. You see them. Okay. I'm just checking everything out here this evening. They think I'm going to feed them, but I already have. But I believe New York City is a dry run for the larger socialist experiment. You hear them over there, don't you? There they are. They really think I'm going to feed them again. Do you think New York City's the socialist experiment? It worked. They got Mamdani elected. There's no way to get rid of him right now. Do you think the people in New York City would do anything to get rid of him? I don't think so. I think the mob elected the guy. Some of the mob might not have been voting or should have been voting in New York City. These places that are most radical typically don't have voter ID. But, you know, had never stopped a Democrat before. I think my grandmother died about 17 years ago, 15 years ago. And she's still voting Democrat somewhere, I'm sure. I'm sure she's voting in California at some point. It's just the way it is right now. But there's a lot of people that I thought were conservatives, that I thought were constitutional conservatives, that aren't anymore. Thomas Massey is one of them. Marjorie Taylor Greene is another. Rand Paul, another. Sean Ryan, another. He went from dealing drugs to dopamine, is what it seems like. And I don't know how this ends. I know there's no statute of limitations on tax evasion. I know there's no taxes on drugs. So, dealing the drugs, not paying taxes on them, kind of a bad look. Kind of a bad look. Here, let's check these guys out. Look at these guys. See them? They love it whenever I fill up the water trough and let it run for a little while. They love it. Guys, what do you think about some of these people that you used to trust? Steve Bannon? I really used to like that guy. Used to follow him. Used to listen to him over on Breitbart. Kind of changed my prerogative on that. There's some other channels that I'm now questioning their motives. Because I think a lot of them are paid. A lot of them are just given a script and told to run with it. Make these people look good. Make the narrative fit. What do you think about that? It's a weird dynamic. A lot of people are noticing right now. A lot of us are waking up to the game that we are in. And it seems like some of us have been a piece in the game. Used for clicks. Used for views. Used for likes. The one thing that I've really wondered about whenever I watch some of these other channels, none of them have ever really pissed me off. None of them have ever really said anything to, like, get me thinking. Which, in my opinion, if you're not sort of shaking the apple cart, what are you doing? Are you just going along to go along? Every now and then you got to shake the cart. Make sure everything's either in securely or get the loose stuff out, right? Back on a submarine, we would do a little, we would do this like operation every underway. It was called angles and dangles. If you know what that is, you've been on a submarine. We would go deep, and then we would put on a very high up angle, 10, 15 degree up angle. And we would go fast. And then we would, you know, make sure everything was secure, make sure everything was tied down. And then when we got up there, we would put on a very vicious down angle, 10, 15 degree down angle, and go fast to make sure everything was tied down that way. So you're always checking to see what's hanging on, what's in the right place, what's in the wrong place, what wasn't secure. Angles and dangles. I believe that's what we're seeing right now in America. There's some angles and dangles. There's a lot of things that are out of place. There's a lot of things that aren't secure. One of them is our election. The second one is New York City. How did we allow, and I say we, I don't vote there, but we as a whole, we as a group, we as conservatives, how did we allow Zohran Mamdani to get elected? He's he's an admitted socialist in one of the most powerful cities in the world. How did we allow that to happen? I can't wrap my mind around this, guys. I really can't. Everybody says that conservatives are so smart and that we value our freedom, value our freedom of speech and all this other stuff. The best they could do was Sliwa as a candidate in New York City. The best they could do was Sliwa. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Really makes you wonder. Sliwa went really quiet after the election. Makes you scratch your head. Makes you wonder what's really going on. How many of you are starting to figure out what's really going on? Because I know I am. I'm really deep in the weeds on this stuff, so I think that's why I notice some things. But once you start noticing a few things, it starts happening over and over and over again all around the country. Do you ever think New York City would have Call to Prayer played 5 times a day? If you served your country, Iraq, Afghanistan, some of those Middle Eastern countries, and then you hear it here on American soil. New York City, you know what happened to the Twin Towers there. And then you hear a call to prayer in New York City. Somebody put some earplugs in the Statue of Liberty's ears, because she doesn't need to hear that. The Statue of Liberty does not need to hear that. There's a lot of people there that are all on board with this. Like I said, to celebrate Ramadan, got my Razorback hat on. I'm gonna wear it the entire time to celebrate Ramadan. If you know the joke, you know the joke. Guys, it's the Ben Dyke Show. I really appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you check out that Gold Mining Inc. While the economy's good, while the economy is thriving, while Trump is in office, make a little extra scratch for yourself. Pay yourself. You got to pay yourself. Invest in yourself. That's what I got to tell you. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for walking around the farm with me.